In this video, I take a look at the trailer for Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team and see what information we can gather from it. Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time watching, thank you very much. Why not click the subscribe button so you don't miss an upload from me? So last night, Games Workshop launched a trailer for the Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team, which is basically a skirmish level version of Warhammer 40,000. The trailer was actually pretty good, and they definitely seem to be up in their game with some of their launch information now. But what exactly can we gather from it? So I decided to have a look through it, try and zoom in on some of the rules, and see if I can give you guys some hidden information. Now I must preface this with I don't actually play Warhammer 40,000. I'm kind of roughly aware of the rules and I kind of understand enough to be able to talk about it. So if I get anything wrong here, please just let me know down in the comments, because this is a learning experience for me. And one of the reasons I'm really interested in this is because I think that this could be the gateway into 40,000 for me, allowing me to build up some smaller kill teams and gradually get a painted army over time. So without further ado, let's take a little look at it. Well, the video opens basically telling us that it is in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. It said it's a brand new skirmish game called Kill Team. Now, it says it's fast-paced squad combat, which would suggest that it's going to be somewhere between probably 3 to 10 models in a kill team. And from what I can gather from this information, it looks like it will be points-based. So we see some nice shots here, especially of the terrain as well, which I think I certainly couldn't find anywhere else. I think this is new terrain. Now, it says here that you can customize your team. And what I've read from digging into some screenshots of this information here is, essentially, you build up your kill team from a leader, and then you equip it with specialists and sort of other characters. And my assumption is that each model will have information listed on their datasheet. So that would suggest that each model has a datasheet. There'll be a points cost for it. So what it says is that you have a leader model, but this model is designated a leader because it has the leader specialism. Now, specialism seems quite important in this, and I think that this is how you build up your kill team. So the way it looks is you will have a command roster, which is basically a squad of available models to pull from to build your kill team. So what it seems to suggest, certainly from the narrative play missions that you can see in the rulebook when you go through the trailer, is that basically at the start of the game, each player reveals a faction keyword. Now that might be kind of Astartes or Chaos, whatever that might be, and they reveal them at the same time. Then each player chooses a battle-forged kill team that includes only models from that faction keyword. Now that really does open things up, and it looks like we'll be able to have some kind of very interesting kill teams, and doesn't mean we have to sort of pull just kind of just Space Marines or just Orcs or just Necrons, for example. So I'm assuming from the way it mentions Battle-Forged that this will be in line with 8th edition rules, and within those Battle-Forged teams, you'll get command points to be able to spend. And those command points will be able to equip your team with specialisms. If I go back to specialisms, I can go through my notes here. Basically, it says that kill teams are made up of a leader who is an experienced veteran and specialists. And then these specialists can have access to special abilities and tactics. Each model has a datasheet which describes which specialisms can be taken by that model. And from what I can see so far, I've seen the leader specialist, or leader specialism, and I've also seen a combat specialist. There's also mention of sniper as well, so I'm assuming that there'll be a shooting specialist as well. No doubt there'll be other ones, but this is all we can kind of gather from this information at the moment. So it says when you add a model to your command roster, and that goes back to what we were saying before about how it seems that you have a pool of models to pull from, build your kill team, you can choose one specialism for it from them listed on that datasheet. So only what that model can sort of pull from. You note this down, and it can't be changed later. So I guess that basically it means you can't change it between games, or certainly you can't change it within a game, I should say. Some models have the leader specialism, and you must include one model with the leader specialism in your kill team. It says for a Battleforge kill team, you can include up to 3 other models with specialisms aside from your leader. So this would suggest that sort of kill teams will have somewhere like 3 or 4 models minimum, and then the rest of your team will be made up of kind of rank and file normal guys without any specialist abilities. It says each specialist in your kill team must be unique. So this means that you can have one sort of shooter specialist, one combat specialist, one leader specialist, for example. But you can have more than one in your command roster. And again, this kind of comes back to this having this pool to pull from. So that sounds really interesting. Then it says that basically any specialist has abilities. And basically the specialists have sort of 1 or more abilities depending upon their experience. And it shows this that they have an ability tree, and I'll show a picture of that now as well. It says that a specialist starts at level 1 and can progress to level 4. But it's good to note that in this information we can see, it actually says that in matched player, so I'm assuming this is the organized player type stuff that they're talking about at the end of the trailer, you can only have level 1 specialists. I'm assuming this is to try and kind of level everything out a little bit. But if you're playing the narrative style or the campaign style, you can actually level up your you guys in your kill team up to level 4. And through this this ability tree, you start off with the first one. As you level up to level 2, you can choose something from level 2, and you get that in addition to your level 1 ability. And then as you level up again to level 3, you can then choose from level 3, but only at the level 3 side of that that tree. So if you've gone sort of down the left-hand path, you can only then choose any level 3 that come out of those level 2 ones, if that makes sense. And then when you level up to level 4, you'll see there isn't a level 4 on the skill tree. It actually says that you can choose any other ability that you haven't already chosen. So basically this does open it up a little bit and helps if you've kind of limited yourself to go to one side of that skill tree. So we also see later on in the trailer as well, we see that there are some narrative missions mentioned. So there's one called Disrupt Supply Lines, there's one called Rush, one called Feint, and the one we get a bit more information about is Assassinate. And this is where we can see the information about how we start the game with revealing keywords. It also mentions a scouting phase, which there isn't any details on. It mentions a shooting phase and a fight phase. And it also mentions battle rounds. So some of that obviously is very familiar from 8th edition. It says that we alternate setting up of individual models. So basically I set up one of my models, you set up one of your models, and we alternate that way. And it does also mention about that the leader has to be within a certain area, but that might be very specific to that narrative mission. There's also talk of intelligence and morale tracking as well for campaign games. So it definitely feels like there's a little bit of a kind of a Necromunda, Shadow War, Armageddon sort of a campaign feel to it as well. So that could be quite interesting. And it also makes me think, I wonder if this really does kind of signal the end of Shadow War Armageddon. Now, the other thing I can kind of get from this is it says that later on in the trailer is to fight over distinct kill zones. And what it looks like is it shows a little bit of different terrain, and a little bit the kind of the board that they're playing over or the map they're playing over seem themed to that as well. Now, what I would say is it looks like that these are cardboard sort of fold out boards, a little bit like we see in some of the sets currently. The reason I say this, and I'll try and show this on the screen now, is some of them look like they have creases down them, as if it's where the boards are folded out or butted together. And they also look quite shiny versus a kind of a neoprene mat. So what I will say is that it looks like we're going to get a box set along the lines of Shadow War Armageddon. So with some terrain and with maybe even a mat in there now, looking at if they're cardboard. But it looks really interesting. No sort of timings yet for release. But if we think about how last year at the Gamma Show, they talked about Necromunda, and that was kind of released in the November time, we'll certainly be seeing it at some point in 2018. So let me know what you think, guys. Is this something you're excited about? Did you used to play Kill Team? Do you still use the old Kill Team rules? Is this something you're excited about? Is it something that you don't play for Warhammer 40k and you want to get into it and you see this as a gateway? Let me know down in the comments what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.